Well, hopefully you've picked up something from the previous recordings that will help you in your sales management. I know I did, even just interviewing those. But I don't want you to settle for being a good sales manager. I want you to become a great one. And if I would have had access to this information that you're getting ready to see 20 years ago, it would have shaved 10 years off my learning curve. And from all the great managers that I had the opportunity to work with, be around and learn from, what I've picked up is there's really 10 disciplines to successful sales management. Discipline number one is a commitment to the company. If you're not committed to the same core values and belief that your company is, there's going to be a problem down the road. There has to be 100% commitment to what the company believes in, and then you have to transfer that into your sales organization so they have the same commitment. Next is a commitment to staffing the office. Proactive recruiting, understanding that every new salesperson, of the right salesperson that comes in, is a great opportunity for them and a great opportunity for you. Training new hires is another discipline. Too many times we see new salespeople come in, good salespeople. They came into an organization, but the sales manager didn't spend enough time with that person, and that person then failed. Success or failure on the salesperson's part is your responsibility. Every person that is successful in your organization that you worked with, you have to ask yourself and look yourself in the mirror, did I contribute to that? If the answer is yes, pat yourself on the back. Every salesperson that leaves your organization because they weren't being successful, you have to ask yourself the same question. Did I give them every tool? And if the answer is no, you need to change your behavior. That person's livelihood depends on the things you promised them in the interview. Your commitment to the field. This is not a desk jockey job. Strong sales management live in the field. If you were to buy a McDonald's franchise for $1 million, they teach you at Hamburger University that you manage your profit from the floor, not the office. This is no different. Get in the field with your salespeople. Then motivating the sales team. How do you motivate the sales team? More often, how can you motivate the sales team if you can't do what you're asking them to do? Motivation is an environment. It's not a word. It's an environment that you create. Managing lead flow. Taking that lead that could cost $200, $300, $600, $800 and putting them in the hands of a highly trained salesperson that'll guarantee a return back to you and the owners of your business who made the capital investment to create that lead. Making the decisions on who gets what or who gets none. Setting the example. Sometimes when things are tough, the great managers that I worked for, they hopped in the car and they went and made something happen to prove a point. Case in point, one of my first mentors, Peter, that I mentioned earlier in other videos. When a salesperson would complain about the quality of a lead or how hard things were, Peter was always quick to say that if you think this is about the leads and not the skills of the individual salesperson, here's what I'll do for you. You meet me in the office tomorrow morning and every day this week. You pick the 2 leads you want and you give me the 2 leads that you want me to have. And at the end of the week, the person that sells the most, winner keeps all. And I remember adopting that into my management style and the changes in the attitude that it did for my salespeople when they started to accept responsibility for their own results. Feedback. Being willing to give negative or positive feedback instantly, not holding it back, but giving the feedback to your salesperson or to another department head as soon as the feedback needs to happen. When you hold that information back, it creates uncertainty and trust goes away. Providing feedback is critical in being a great manager. Office organization. If your office looks like a scatter bomb went off in it, are you going to attract the right person? I was hired one time by a company in the Midwest to come out and conduct an observation on their business because they couldn't hire salespeople. I got in early, got to the office, and when I opened the door up, smoke rolling out of the door, and when I looked down on the floor, there was dog poop on the floor. I met with the owner of the business and I asked him, would you like to hire me as a salesperson for you? He said, of course. How could I? And I said, I would never work here. You don't take enough pride in the office or yourself to have a positive environment. When I opened the door, smoke was billowing out of the building. And when I looked on the floor, your dog had used the bathroom on the floor. A great salesperson is going to walk in here, make a decision on what they see, and what they see right now is what is a reflection of what they think is going to happen in the future. Now, he didn't like it all that well up front, but it is the right thing. What does your office look like? And then developing future managers or leaders. This one's tough because although great sales managers, they may have great egos and high egos, there's a little bit of a self-esteem issue when it comes to developing a future manager. There's a fear that if I make a good manager or a good leader, I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to be replaced by them. Not the case. If you're a great sales manager and you're developing future leaders in company, you become a bigger asset because you're creating a vehicle to grow the business that you're working on. Let's take the next few minutes that we have together, break down each one of these disciplines. Here's your role in this. Your role is to find one idea that you can implement right now that'll make your job easier and make you a better manager. Second part of this is you find an idea that you need more information on before you're willing to put it into place. And then the third one, that's the one I want you to write down on the idea you disagree with. You know why? Because that's probably the one you need to do first.